Hey guys, HackerSploit here, back again with another video. Welcome back to the HackTheBox walkthrough series. I've been getting tons of requests from you guys to actually cover some Windows boxes on HackTheBox, and of late I've had a lot of time, a lot of free time, where I've actually been able to delve back into HackTheBox because you really need to get used to how the boxes are set up, and it's more of a CTF based structure. So it's been really exciting and fun, getting back into CTFs like in boxes on HackTheBox. And I decided, why not resume covering various boxes, various retired boxes. So in this video we are going to be taking a look at Optimum, which is a Windows box, and I've been going through this chronologically based on the boxes and when they were retired. So again, I did this quite a while ago. I was actually set to record this video earlier last week, but I didn't have the time to, so I guess I'm doing it right now. So I already have the nmap results here. So I'm just going to the nmap results here, and you can go ahead and take a look at my scan options. They're fairly simple, and immediately we can see we only get one service or one port open, which is port 80, and it's currently running an HTTP file server version 2.3, something like that. And we get the headers, of course. The header tells us it's running something called HFS 2.3, and also the HTTP title tells us the same. As for, and by the way, I'm pretty sure I'd scanned all the ports, so let me just check this right now. So yeah, cat nmap default all .txt, and yeah, we can see that we don't really have any other ports open up. As for the operating system guesses, we can see the most likely operating system that we're running, or the box is running, is Windows Server 2012. That's about 91% probability, so we are pretty sure that is running Windows Server. So first of all, let's try and explore and see what we have on this. Let's see what we have running on this web server. So we can see that we have what looks to be a file server, right? And we can take a look at the bottom here. We have some system information, and that tells us we're running something called HTTP file server version 2.3. So let's check out what that is, and it tells us server uptime and a few other bits of information here. So this is the system, and it's it gives you an idea of what it does. It's file sharing web server, it's open source, it's free, so on and so forth. You can use it to send and receive files, and I'm pretty sure I have used this before in the early days of doing YouTube, where I was actually transferring files from one system to another before I'd set up my network correctly. So yeah, this is HFS file server, and it's version 2.3. So we can try and run a quick search exploit on this. HFS, let's just see if we have any results here. So we have a few interesting results, and again, this is by a company called regardé, which I believe is also the same, because I did see that here. Yeah, so it tells us regardé.com HFS, right? So there we are. So we have a regardé HTTP file server, HFS, remote command execution through Metasploit. Not really sure about the version. We have version 2.3 arbitrary file upload, and then version 2.3 onwards we have remote command execution. So let's try and Google and see what we can get here. So let's see what information we can get. So we will just say HFS 2.3 exploit. Looks like we have a few search results, and we have the first one, which is the remote command execution. So let's see what this exploit is about. It's probably a Metasploit module. I can already see that in the URL, so interesting. So we can see that this works on version 2.3 on Windows XP Service Pack 3, Windows 7 Service Pack 1, and Windows 8. And right at the bottom we have references and the module name. So this is under regardé HFS exec, which is again remote command execution. So let's try and run this module. So MSF console, and let's take a look at a few other exploits that we have here. We have, I think this is the same one, I'm not really sure. Let's see, this is the remote command execution, and this is a Python script. And we can also use this instead of using Metasploit. So let's see how this will work. So you need to be using a web server, hosting a netcat, and you specify the attacker's IP and netcat.exe. Interesting. So let's try out the first module and let's see. So let's see the various options that we have. All right, interesting. So we have our hosts and the R port, which is set correctly. Server host and the server port, which I guess is fine. 8080 is fine, not really hosting anything on that. And the target URI is fine. If I check it, yes, we're currently in the root of the web server, not under any particular directory. So let's start setting the options here. So set our hosts, and the target is going to be 10.10.10.8, right? And set the server host. I'll just set that to my tunnel interface, which is currently what is used to communicate to the private network, through HackTheBox and OpenVPN. So I'll hit enter, and that gives me my IP as expected. Do I have to change anything else? Let me just show the options one more time just to make sure I have everything set up correctly. And yeah, so I'm just going to run, and let's see if this will give us a interpreter session, or we'll have to use the Python script, which I'm guessing is doing the same thing. So let's see what this, so it gives us a interpreter session, and it tells us try to delete a file under a temp directory, and it's a Visual Basic script. So we'll take a look at that shortly. So first off, so sysinfo, and it tells us the computer name is Optimum. This is Windows Server 2012 R2, build 9600. Okay, that's going to be useful. Let's see, this is the architecture 64-bit. We have one logged on user, and the interpreter session is 32-bit. All right, so the first thing I want to do is, let's see if we can get a shell here. All right, looks like we can get a shell. First of all, who am I exactly? Looks like we are Costas, a user called Costas. And we're currently on the desktop. So let's see if we can access. It looks like we have the temp directory that we're supposed to delete, and the user.txt.txt. So let's see if we can access that first. This was fairly simple. So user.txt.txt, and we get the user flag, which is fairly simple, and that's probably why the box was pointing more towards CVE, a CVE rated box. So that's interesting. So looks like we got that. One thing I want to do before we try and perform, let's see if I can actually see what other users we have. So I'm in the users directory. We only have administrator and Costas. So administrator, access denied. All right, so what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to exit from here. And let's see if I can say get system. Let's see if we can get it. I doubt this will work. There we are. So that didn't work. Even through token duplication, which usually works with Windows Server 2012. Get privs. Let's see if we can do that. And we can actually probably load the Kiwi module to see if we can get credentials. I'm not really sure whether that works or not. I'm not really sure whether that will work. We can try it out, but before we do that, there are a few things I want to check out first. So if I list the processes, do we have any 64-bit processes? Yeah, we have explorer.exe, which is a good host to migrate to, and the process ID, is that the process ID? Yeah, that's PID. So the process ID is 2136. So let's see if we can migrate to that, because you'll get a much more stable session if it's 64-bit. So 2136. And I also want to perform some, I also want to run the post exploitation exploit suggester tool with modules. So we'll migrate to that. Hopefully we can actually migrate successfully, and I can get a 64-bit interpreter session. So it looks like it completed successfully. Let's see if we have successfully migrated, and looks like we have. All right, excellent. That's cool. So what I can do now is I can background this and search for the suggester, right? So search for the suggester, and that is a post. This is a post exploitation module. that again will automatically suggest various exploit and post-exploitation modules that you can use. If I show the options now, what we need to specify is, because it's a post-exploitation module, we need to specify the session, right? So I'm just going to say set session, and what are the session numbers here? We only have one session and it's session ID 1, so set session 1, and let's run this and let's see what exploits or post exploitation or post or privilege escalation modules we can get. So that's going to take a few minutes here. Let's take a look at the Python script. I guess the Python script will actually have to we have the target IP, target port number. So it's different. Not really getting any more information regarding this exploit. It's again RCE. We can probably try this out as well. Let's see if we can just get the exploit, and that is exploit 39161. We should have probably copied it with from the exploit DB database through searchsploit. Looks like we get a few options here, although I doubt this will work since it's user access control. That usually never works as a as a good means or a good method of performing privilege escalation. So what I'm going to do now is we can actually just try this Python script. So I'm just going to copy this from the downloads, and we'll just say from downloads we're going to get the 31. Do we have the script downloaded? Let's see if we have it downloaded. Not really sure. What's files? We have 39, right? So it's 39. Yeah, it's 39.161, and I'm going to copy this into my documents and under HackTheBox and under Optimum, right? And we want to go into the documents, HackTheBox, and under Optimum. That's where I saved the script here, and let's see how this will work. So chmod plus x, and let's give this script some permission so that we can execute it. So if we try and run it by default, let's see what version of Python it uses. Probably Python 2, so 39.161.py. So we specify the target IP, which is 10.10.10.8 and port 80, right? And we hit enter. Looks like it executed it successfully. Did it interfere with the meterpreter session here? Not really sure. So sessions 1, and that's still working. So what we can do is let's see if I can run a netcat listener. So a netcat nvlp and 1 2, but that actually needs to be done. So in order to, you need to be running a web server hosting a netcat. Oh yeah, all right. So you know what, that's just too much right now. I already have a session. Probably need to do this manually. So this is the local IP and the port number. So yeah, what I'll do now is, instead of running this manually just to get the same session through netcat, I'm just going to exit, and what I'll do is we will just exit from here as well, and let's see if we can escalate our privileges without having to go that way. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, so we're running Windows Server 2012 R2, Windows Server 2012 R2 privilege escalation. Let's see if we can find a module that will allow us to do this. We have the first one, which uses that is, let's see, this works through PowerShell. That is MS16 032, but through PowerShell. Let's see how that will work exactly. So this is a PowerShell implementation of MS16 032. This exploit targets all vulnerable operating systems that support PowerShell. All right, so this is based on PowerShell. Let's see what this CVE is referring to specifically. So this is let's see if we have some. All right, so it looks like we have a few modules here. and the other one that we were seeing, that was a PowerShell module. So this is again MS16032. This is a logon handle privilege escalation. Module exploits the lack of sanitization of standard handles in Windows secondary logon service. The vulnerability is known to affect versions of Windows 7 to 10, 2K8, 2K12, 32 and 64-bit. All right, cool. And this module will only work against those versions of Windows with PowerShell 2.0 and later on systems with two or more CPU cores. All right, interesting. So let's see if we can actually get or escalate our privileges using this module. So just background that. So it's use, and we use that module. So show options and set the session to 1. Just going to hit run now. And it's going to start the reverse TCP handler. And let's see if we get a shell, or it looks like we have something interesting going on. So it uses it sniffs out the privilege impersonation token, and the thread belongs to service host. The thread is suspended, and success open system token handle 1348. I'm not really sure. Then it sniffs out a system shell duplicating system token, starting the token race, process race, holy handle, leak Batman. We have a system shell. So it looks like that was successful, and it's executed on target machine, but it looks like the session is hung here. It tells us exploit completed, but no session was created, and it deletes the PowerShell script here. However, it looks like it's using the thread handle 13521348. Interesting. If we say sys info, and yeah, that's I don't think who am I? Oh yeah, I need to go and get a shell. Who am I? And we're still Optimum. Sorry, we're still Costas. Let me just exit. Let's see the system processes. So we have 1352. That's the one that was the. So look out for SVC host. Interesting. All right. So we have this one here. That's that one, and 64-bit. That task host X explorer.exe. That's interesting. And if I just take a look at this. So if I show the options here, it looks like the L host is set to my local all right, so set L host to to tunnel 0, and if we run it now, let's see if we get a because it starts a reverse TCP handler. Now it's starting it on the correct IP. All right, so yeah, so it sends the stage, and there we are, we get a metaverse session. So that's what I was wondering. It didn't actually latch onto a service that we can then migrate to and get the the privileges that way. Instead, I needed to set the interface and my IP correctly. So there we are. So again, this info, it's still, this is now a 32-bit session, but we have 3 logged on users, which is weird. So let's get a shell, and so we'll see who am I, and we are the NT authority, or the administrator for lack of a better word. Let's go into the administrator directory. So users cd administrator, sorry, that is administrator, like so, and desktop, and let's see if we can get the root. So there we are. So we type root.txt, and we get the root flag. So yeah, that was pretty simple. And again, this was based that's primarily on CVEs. I actually remember doing this the other way, or the last time I did it using the Python script and having to use netcat, but that's really a long procedure just to get a shell in the first place, and then using the PowerShell script, you probably have to copy it over through creating a PowerShell script that will then download the script from your local file server. So yeah, that's quite cumbersome. So that was quite simple. It was CVE based. Let me know what you guys think. The write-up for this particular box will be on HackerSploit.org, and you can check it out. It will cover this all in depth, and I'll probably also add the Python script method where you can actually do it manually instead of using Metasploit. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.